Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Extra Point. I'm here with Callie and the birthday boy, Zach. He turned 12 today.
Yes,
He did.
Actually, more like 28, but thank you very much.
That's just a reflection of your youthfulness.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'll take it. It'll help me
Yes.
whenever I'm 40, or so I'm told.
Yes.
But happy birthday to Zach. Happy kickoff college football day to Callie, because our UT Vols are playing this evening.
Yes.
But before we get into that, because we're going to talk a lot about college football, let's talk briefly about high school. I'd like to touch on Tullahoma, a little bit of Franklin County. I think you know something. I think you can also help us out with Coffee County. Let's start with Coffee County. They play a really brutal schedule, and they play against Smyrna this week. What do you think?
They do. This is going to be a really tough matchup for Coffee County. There's certain areas of their defense that they're lacking on, especially the run game. And specifically in the pass game is what really worried me about Tullahoma. Whenever they took on Tullahoma, you could see some faults there. And Tullahoma obviously is not as solid as an offensive team as we thought they were during that game. So there was a lot of mistakes that Tullahoma made that could have led to big plays against Coffee County. So they're going to have a hard time against Smyrna, who likes to pass the ball quite a bit and have been – they're 2-0 on the season.
Yeah.
Have been probably playing the best football out of anybody in the state at this time. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a long night for Coffee County.
Yeah, no doubt.
But why don't you help us out a little bit with Stewart's Creek is at Franklin County. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, Stewart's Creek is obviously, Coach Smith said, one of the best 0-2 teams right now in the state. He said they got beat by Smyrna this
Yes.
past week. So, and they got their tails handed to them too. But again, plagued by a lot of turnovers and penalties in those first two games, so they're definitely going to come in here looking for a win. And they beat the dog out of Franklin County last year. Now, Franklin County also has the momentum of beating Tullahoma last week. However, there's a lot of injuries from what Coach Smith was telling me. So, especially defensively, they're going to be replacing some players. I don't look for this to be a win for Franklin County. I'm just kind of hoping that they can hang in there.
Well, now that you mentioned that, let's go back and discuss Tullahoma's playing at Marshall County, so I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot to talk about that game.
Probably not.
But let's talk about the Tullahoma loss to Franklin County last week.
You name an aspect and they struggled.
Exactly,
It was not a great performance at all. Listening to Coach after the game, he told the players essentially there was positives coming out of that Coffee County game he saw. There were absolutely no positives that he saw during that Franklin County game. Just quickly glancing at the game, of course, this is whenever he huddles the team after the game. So, he may have had time to look at the video and say, hey, there were some positives here. But overall, I didn't see anything. Franklin County came out and just flat out ran it down their throats.
Exactly.
And over and over and over again until Tullahoma just couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
I mean,
A lot of confusion, it seemed at times, for their defense, even on offense. Too.
yeah, even on offense, there was quite a bit. There was a bright spot on the offensive side. They got Bryson Cornback, who's a sophomore running back. He had been hindered by injuries. It was kind of a shocker that to get him back for that Franklin County game, he wasn't expected to be back until Shelbyville, which is week 4 of the season. So it was good to see him out there. He had 85 yards on just 7 carries. So obviously we're trying to limit his ability to get the ball, being that he's still kind of lingering from that injury. So as soon as he gets more acclimated to this offense, I think it's going to do them wonders. This is not a good opponent for him to be playing this week in Marshall County, because Marshall County is heads above probably the best team in the 4A level. So it's going to be really, really tough for Tullahoma to get a win. And I don't even think it's going to be competitive. And I'm sorry, Tullahoma folks. It's going to be.
Just like
It's gonna be a
Franklin
rough
County.
game.
I mean,
It's
these
gonna be a
guys,
rough game.
outweigh them out
So
there.
we all think that Smyrna's probably going to beat Coffee County this week, although I think Coffee County can play. They have some talent.
Yeah, it's
I
just
just
going to be
don't think it won't be
holding
enough.
on to the football is going to be the big thing. Against Pope John Paul, that was the big thing that killed them. They had 3 turnovers in that game, and just Pope John Paul took
Think
advantage of it.
Franklin County's going to pull out the win?
Oh, no, absolutely
No?
not. I
Okay.
mean, I think, like I said, if these guys can hang with them, again, they had a great week last week. Offensive line showed up, allowing Leslie and Sons to be able to continue to run the ball. They didn't have a lot of success throwing the ball, so they still got to work on that. But this week it's just going to be getting reps and doing what they got to do to kind of just contain Stewart's Creek as best they can.
And I think unanimously we all feel that Tullahoma's probably going to lose to Marshall County pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's kind of no doubt in my
Yeah.
mind. I think it'd be one of the biggest upsets in high school football history if Tullahoma could somehow.
And that usually just
But hey, if
doesn't
that
happen in high
happens,
school.
you know, I'd be happy to be
Oh,
wrong about it.
I'd be elated to
Yeah,
be right
exactly.
about that, but
Exactly.
It just doesn't happen in high school ball
No.
as often.
Yeah,
No.
It's not, what was it, the Hoosiers, or what was the old movie?
yeah.
Anyway, let's move on, and before we start talking about college, we're gonna keep that one for last, which normally we don't, we do it in the middle, but let's talk pro for a minute. I don't know if you watched the Titans versus Oakland the other day, but once again, they gave up a touchdown on the first drive of the game. I don't know if I don't know if the coach is just doing this so when the season kicks off, he can say, hey, we're actually better than we
Just
think
kidding.
we are.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
I mean, offensively, we're ticking. We're running the ball. You know, we're throwing the ball. We look good.
Well, you can't
I
have
see-
it all.
I see, yeah.
You can't have your
I
cake
do
and eat
see
it too
some
with them.
improvement with this team. I'm very concerned on defense.
Yeah, and that's exactly where the concern was for me heading into the season. Offensively last year, you saw some good things here and there. Once in a while, you didn't have the consistency that you're seeing this preseason with that offense last year. But the defense was what hindered the Titans quite a bit last year. Is they couldn't get stops in crucial situations. Even against the New Orleans, whenever they picked up the wins at New Orleans last year, it was a high-scoring affair because that defense could not stop anybody. So.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I agree with you. Even the win against Jacksonville was the same
Yeah.
scenario. I don't really see. I mean, they're going to kick off next week. We can talk more about them next week. I think
Mhm.
we probably should go ahead and move on because I have a feeling we're going to talk about college football quite a bit. But before we move on, I want to tell everybody, if you like football, our Ultimate Football Contest, we're not eligible to win, but it's still fun to
Let's see
play. We have lots of high school, college games, and professional games in there for people to pick, and they can win weekly $25 gas cards.
Cool.
And the
That'll work.
overall winner of our contest we have online gets a recliner, a nice
Wow.
leather recliner.
And too bad we're not eligible for that.
Exactly.
So,
I don't know.
Which would make great for it to come about time for the Super Bowl to start kicking
Exactly.
around the
Yep.
playoffs. We're going to talk briefly about UT versus Appalachia State, or Appalachia State's at UT. I think UT's going to win, of course.
Yeah, I think they.
Appalachia State's not a bad team.
No, and they'll play them like they play every other team. You know, they're serious going into this, but I think everybody's healthy and it's good. First game, I think we got this.
Okay. I think it'll be a decent game up to half, and then Tennessee will pull away in the second half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree. Tennessee's got this one in the bag.
Yeah.
So, but we're not going to put that down as our picks because I think that's a powder puff pick. So, great job, UT. We'll have more to discuss next week when it
Yes.
comes to
Yes.
UT
Yeah,
football
looking forward to
and
some stats.
college football in general because
Yeah.
there's a lot of good games.
There
this
is.
week to
Normally
kick
it's a
off the
very
season.
soft, opening week is very soft.
Well, I think the
This week,
teams
not
have
so
kind of
much.
figured out that you go out there and play a tough team first, and that way if you lose that game, it doesn't come back to haunt you
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
Exactly.
later on in the season. Let's go South Carolina at Vandy. Two teams that struggled last year, but
I think South Carolina is in a rebuilding phase,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go with Vanderbilt. This is kind of a crucial game for Derek Mason,
It
really,
is.
as a head coach.
It is.
So,
And I'm with you on that, and also wanting Vandy to win as well. So I do not like Will Muschamp, and would love to.
so you're going to pick Vandy. I
Absolutely.
think this is Derek Mason's last season as he struggles, and Vandy barely goes maybe 4-7. So I'm
Well, they
gonna
definitely
go
have a
South
challenging
Carolina.
schedule. They have to win this game.
yeah.
This is a kind of a telltale for either program on how they're
It's
going to
amazing though
play the
in
rest
college
of the season.
football how quickly a team can go from. I mean, Vandy had turned the corner and
Mhm.
had started getting up there, and then one, some bad luck and losing a coach and then everything. Now they're back at the bottom of the cellar.
Mhm.
Let's look around here. Let's go to Clemson at Auburn. I think it'll be a good game.
I
But
think it'll be
number
a
2
good game,
Clemson.
but I think Clemson beats them.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good first
First
half.
half, yeah.
But then after that, now I'm going Clemson all the way. Clemson held in with Alabama last year, didn't lose a whole bunch coming into this season, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Clemson's got
I
it.
think Clemson's probably going to win that one too. Auburn's still not quite there yet. Let's jump to UCLA at Texas A&M. That's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, UCLA is ranked right now, while Texas A&M not, but I think they're the sleeper of the West, and I think they're gonna upset some people this year.
Yeah, anytime you go into play at Kyle Field,
Yeah.
it's a tough challenge for any opponent. So I'm going UCL, or excuse me, I'm going
I'm about to
Texas
say-
A&M on this
I
one.
say, yeah, you know better. I'm going
Going
with A&M
Texas.
as well because John Chavis defense and it's the SEC.
And I'm gonna go with Texas A&M because of home field advantage. Like you mentioned, I think home field advantage, especially in some stadiums, it really plays.
Yeah.
And that is one place that gets extremely loud. Let's jump to Notre Dame at Texas. Texas isn't ranked. Notre Dame's number 10. And Notre Dame's always ranked.
It is a huge rival for them, right?
Well,
It's
this
a
is-
bigger
right,
yeah.
It's two classic teams going up against
Yeah.
each other. Texas historically great and Notre Dame historically great. So I think it's just all going to depend on what Texas team shows up
Exactly,
this year.
that's what I was
And
fixing to say.
something tells me to go for Texas in this one. Something just
Didn't
about
you
this
do that
game.
last year?
He
I
did
may
Against
have.
Oklahoma?
I may
Against
have-
your own alma mater, you
I'm
went.
going Texas in this one.
I'm going Notre Dame. And Jake Krulin, if he ever watches this, will appreciate that.
Mhm.
I'm going Notre Dame as well. However, I actually think it's going to be by a field goal. I think it's going to be a really close game. Let's jump to number 18 Georgia versus this is a neutral number 22 North Carolina.
Good game.
Yeah, it'll be a fantastic game. I'm going with North Carolina in this one. I think there's a lot of uncertainties with Georgia, especially at the quarterback position.
Exactly.
They just named their starter
Was it
today, if I'm
Eason?
not mistaken. I can't remember the kid's name off
The
the top of my
freshman?
head. No, he
Oh,
wasn't a
okay.
freshman.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm going with North Carolina in this one.
Oh,
Hard to go
I'm
against the SEC.
I'm not gonna go against them. I'm gonna go with Georgia, just because it's the SEC. I don't like North Carolina.
Don't care much for North Carolina, who helped beat Tennessee and created a brand new
Mhm.
rule in college football
Mhm.
in regards to it. However,
Little love
I
lost
think
there.
freshman quarterback, new coach. I'm gonna go North Carolina.
I was about to say, but your new coach is Kirby Smart. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
well.
like you're getting somebody that doesn't know about the SEC, but
Okay, let's hop over to LSU. Number 5 LSU versus Wisconsin, another neutral game. We got a lot of good matchups.
Yeah, this one's taking place in Wisconsin though, because it's at Lambeau Field. So,
okay,
yeah.
that's cool. I'm
I
still
think-
going with LSU.
I'm probably going to too, but that does make you think that Wisconsin has a little better of a chance.
Yeah, but I'm still going LSU. I think they're just that much better than Wisconsin.
Okay.
Let's one near and dear to Zach's heart. Let's go to number 3, which may be one of the best matchups. Number 3 Oklahoma at number 15 Houston.
This will probably be the best game of the weekend. In my opinion, this could possibly be the best game of the weekend, being that they beat Florida State in the Georgia Bowl last year, which was kind of a shocker to most people. And, obviously they're coming in ranked number 15th in the country, and the game's being played in Houston at Reliance, or excuse me, I forget the name of it now. It's Reliance Stadium whenever I lived in Houston.
There's no telling what it could be named.
There's no
now.
telling
Yeah.
what it could be now, but so it'll take place where the Texans play. It's gonna be a close one, and I'm going Oklahoma. My heart wants Oklahoma, so my heart is. So I'm gonna say Oklahoma.
I cannot root for Bob in any case, so I'm going Houston. Just can't do it.
So being the
Wait a
winner,
minute, but didn't I do it last year with Texas? I think I did.
Probably.
I think I did. I don't
but
remember.
what's funny is she'd rather lose the picks contest than go with someone that she just thinks-
Absolutely.
I'm actually Team Cali on this one. I'm gonna go with Houston. I think this is a game that they just really have to put an exclamation point on, because they do have a little bit weaker of a schedule.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think they want to go out there and prove that they're one of the elite schools now. Okay, so we're getting down to the nitty gritty, so I'm going to save this one for last. Number 20 USC versus another neutral game, number 1 Alabama.
This one will be played in Dallas, but I think Alabama wins this
Oh,
one.
yeah, me
I
too.
think.
Yeah. No, hands down. Everybody's saying this will be one of the best games. I don't feel like it will.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Someone's gonna tell me that
Lane
Alabama's
Kiffin's
gonna come
gonna-
in there.
And well, we don't have to say his name. We can
But-
say Nick Saban and
Well,
you
but
know.
I mean, running that offense, being
Yeah. It's gonna be a good game, and Alabama's gonna win
Being
because they're
canned
stacked.
mid-season from USC, I mean, I think he wants to prove it. I think Alabama wants to prove why they're the #1 team in the country. And I just, USC's coming quite a distance to get there. I don't know. I'm going with Alabama. All right, last game. This one's going to be Monday night, which will end the start of the college week, I guess you might say, kickoff. It's going to be interesting. Number 11 Ole Miss at another neutral game versus number 4 Florida State.
Again, what team shows up for either side of the ball? I mean, either team. I'm gonna go with Ole Miss because it's the SEC pick, and
Yeah.
I've got a lot of Florida State friends who I'd like to see kind of start off to a bad season.
Well, I'm going Florida State in this one. I think with the question marks about Hugh Freeze during this offseason and everything that went down, so.
Unfortunately, I'm going Florida State too. I don't know, I have a gut feeling, and it's hard to tell with Ole Miss sometimes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it'll.
They're hot.
But I'd like to see Ole Miss win because I think Florida State plays pretty much
A big game for either way.
schedule.
Yeah.
Our producer is telling us to wrap it up, but he doesn't really know anything, does he? So,
This controls the video though.
that's,
Sure.
yes, I guess we should. That's this week's college football games. I'm excited. Are you guys excited?
Oh, yeah.
So ready.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond
College.
ready.
Next week we have high school, college, and pro.
Yes.
It's going to be just
Glorious.
all
We're
weekend.
just swimming
yes.
in it.
So if this is Zach, you want to reach Zach, get in touch with him?
On Twitter at Zach Birdsong.
Oh, and at NewsGal27.
Newsgal27.
Yeah.
What's the 27 stand?
Al Wilson's college
Oh,
number.
I thought she was still trying to say she was 27.
No. Always Al Wilson.
All right, and I'm Joe Martin, guys. Thanks for joining us. Give us any feedback. Call us here at the newspaper. We'd like to know. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks.